All right. Chapter 6 The Forest Mission 1. The tests each man must endure have an affinity with him and with no other, so no two persons are tested alike. I, who have shod the feet of others, making walking more comfortable, was fated to suffer the trials of a cripple, and the day came when I no longer enjoyed freedom of movement. It was then I came to this place, and my stay here has been blessed in many ways. My friends, I will tell you now about the Supreme Spirit and his properties, and although this Supreme Spirit is neither male nor female, by convention men say him, and I will do likewise. Just as the eye cannot see the Supreme Spirit or the finite mind understand him, so can they neither see nor understand the perfect, the beautiful, and the good. These are the properties having their source in the Supreme Spirit, and they are things with which he is in love and therefore responds to. They are the things having an affinity with the soul. So if a man strives after perfection, beauty, and goodness, even though he lacks knowledge of the soul spirit, he will attain such knowledge. If he has no knowledge of the existence of the Supreme Spirit, this too will be given him. For if a man takes the road of York, even though he has never heard of York, he will certainly get there if he continues along the road. Therefore, my friends, if your desire is the attainment of the ultimate in perfection, beauty, and goodness, the knowledge of the ultimate in truth and reality, then it would be pointless to deny the Supreme Spirit. It would be no more than foolish for one determined to follow the road to York to its end to deny the existence of York. In any case, whether or not he believes it to be there does not influence its ultimate appearance. Because this is so, perhaps too much has been said about the destination and not enough about the road. The man who travels the road to York is better served by information about the road, its turnoffs and landmarks, than about his destination. Ford the rivers and cross the hills before you concern yourself with the hostelry fare. The best way to know and understand anything is to study its properties, and this applies no less to the Supreme Spirit. So, therefore, consider what is beauty, what is goodness, and what is perfection. Is it not true, and they can be known here only by their contrasts and reflection? If this is so, then where are they existing? Can a non-existent thing have a reflection, and what contrasts with nothing? The Supreme Spirit is the sun of the sphere of the Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is the light of that sphere. The worm, raising itself up at daybreak, sees the light, but departs before the sun rises, for it is too lowly to withstand the rays that have no affinity with slime. It has never seen the splendor which reigns above, though it knows of it through the light. The swallow soars and swoops in the sunlight and revels in its warmth, with which it has an affinity, but it cannot rise above its established limits. It can be the splendor it cannot attain as a bird. When the land is covered in mist, the worm remains above ground with safety while the swallow defers its flight. So it is with the mists of agnosia, for when they cover the mortal sphere, the blind creeping things move more freely while the winged creatures are restricted. Men who are dissatisfied with an unsubstantial reflection seek the reality which gives it existence, and these are they who gaze in the direction of the Supreme Spirit and divinity. One who, seeing the reflections, says to himself, behind this there must be something greater which I must seek, is a religious man. One who says the reflection is pleasant and satisfies me, for to seek for it cause is too tiresome, is a non-religious man. Reflections are elusive, and those cast on the dark mist of agnosia the most deceptive. Many mistake the ugly for the beautiful, the imperfect for the perfect, and the evil for the good, and so are trapped by their desire of worthless and unprofitable things. To seek for perfection is to seek the Supreme Spirit. To seek for goodness is to seek divinity. To seek for beauty is to reach up for both. Seekers after enjoyment and pleasure gain little benefit, but to seek true happiness is a worthy aim, for it points in the right direction. Unhappiness, despair, and remorse are the products of ignorance, folly, and apathy. Evil effects flow from evil causes. Enjoyment and pleasure are unprofitable trees whose fruit may be tasteless or bitter. Ignorance is the darkness of the soul spirit, the smothering fog in which it becomes lost. It beguiles the spirit of man into a kind of drugged dullness. Man is no longer spiritually alert, keen, and energetic. He becomes inert, caught in the mire of matter. My friends, if any of you see imperfection in the Supreme Spirit, be sure that the apparent imperfection results only from your mortal limitations. It is like looking at the sun through coarse, soiled glass and thinking the spots and distortions you see belong to the sun itself. It is not the sun that is spotted or distorted. The defect is in the glass or even in the eye of the viewer. But the effect is as though the defect lies in the sun. However imperfect the reflected image may appear, the reality behind it, the Supreme Spirit, is perfect. The Supreme Spirit has always remained unmoved in the center of the wheel of eternity, which rolls its out rim through the universes of the lower sphere. He alone is the central unchangeable reality, the hub around which all things revolve. Time begins in eternity and ends there, though it may itself appear eternal because expressed in revolving cycles, modified only by change. For me to speak of a beginning is a concession to mortal limitations, and in any case, it is pointless. The result, wayfarer does not look back along the road. Suffice to say that there was the one soul consciousness containing the essence of perfection in reality, which words cannot describe. When the potential power was stirred by thought, it flowed out in rhythm, and this was the beginning. Do not concern yourselves with these things or talk to others too much about the nature of the Supreme Spirit. To seek him without first becoming aware of the soul spirit is like looking for darkness while carrying a lighted lamp. The Supreme Spirit is the source of all spirit, and this is the power which flowed out and brought all else into being. The power flowed outward in the same order in which it returns. My friends, these are things difficult to understand, and it is pointless going into waters beyond your depth. Man has more pressing problems to solve within himself, so before delving into the nature of the Supreme Spirit, he should first seek to unravel the secrets of his own nature. Still more important, he should deal with the flaws and defects in his own makeup before seeking to probe further. When a man has to travel a long road, his first care should be the soles of